Good morning, everyone. Hi. Thanks for joining me. This is my second ever live stream. It's nice to be here with you. Thanks for turning up. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Hello. Hope everyone's well today, wherever you are and whatever time it is. Hello. Thank you. Yay, Portland's one of my favorite places. All the way from Russia, hi, and Texas, thank you so much. Thanks for coming. Good morning. Yay, Victoria, what's up? Thanks for joining me, everyone. Oh, this is so nice. Was anyone here 2 days ago with me? Oh my goodness, watching from Iraq, incredible. Thank you, all my love, thank you so much, so cool. Hey, Thailand, amazing. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I'm in my studio in Melbourne. This is formerly my bedroom, but the bed has been demoted to the lounge room so that I have ultimate room for like creative life. So it is time to vibe, Dex. Yeah, amazing. This is lovely. So As I mentioned on the post, this is just sort of like a free-flowing conversation between us, and I know I can't see you right now, but I'm here for all of your comments and your messages and questions. So hi, all the way to Argentina, incredible. So yeah, I'm just happy to chat. Hey Christy, incredible. So yeah, there's definitely a few things I want to talk about with you, and a few things people mentioned online, mostly about mental health during quarantine. And can you hear the music that I'm playing? Is it too loud? Hey Brad, I will definitely be making sure we get back to the UK. Thanks, Jasmine. So yeah, I'm definitely open to discussion and questions, and just spending time together, because I've really been missing connecting, and I've kind of found it hard to want to post at the moment. And I just noticed that throughout the duration of quarantine so far that, yeah, I don't know, a lot of processing has been demanding. It's, yeah, demanding my attention, and I think there's also just so many different angles and so many different experiences happening around the world, and yeah, just wanting to be sensitive to everybody's different experiences. And I just don't think one perspective can really speak to everybody, and I've got a little bit of a complex about that, and really wanting to put out a positive message and to offer you guys support. So this is my way of doing that. I just want to be here for you and just share whatever comes up. No one's ever described my voice as Pacific before. It's really sweet. And yeah, I guess I'll just start answering your questions. I'd love to do a podcast. I have thought about it before, and sometimes I do voice journaling into my phone. So all my song ideas go into my voice memos on my phone as well. And sometimes when I'm just like, I just need to actually just like offload what's in my head, I do voice journaling. So I would love to podcast, and I would actually love to interview people that I really admire, and friends and educators and stuff like that. I guess at the moment I'm just really trying to work on myself, trying to learn as much as I can, trying to master me. And that's definitely going to be a lifelong process, but I'm committed, and I've started, and I'm here for it. So Christy, you said, what's my morning and my night routine? Thanks for asking. So at the moment, I get up and I come into my studio straight away and I meditate. And I know meditation for a lot of people is like a really foreign and confronting and overwhelming concept. And I just have to say, like, for me it is too. I never just sit there with my eyes closed with silence and just... I don't know. I don't know that I've really ever given myself that opportunity, because it kind of, as I said, it's quite confronting. But I find it confronting at this stage because I'm probably such a novice. But I like using guided meditations. So at the moment I'm doing a Joe Dispenza manifestation meditation in the mornings. It's really cool. It's like a 26-minute meditation, which I promised I would share the link to the other day, and I haven't done that yet, but I will do that following this live stream. So it's so epic to I don't know, sit or lie on your back and have this voice that's telling you what to imagine and where to go inside yourself, and also how to like envision the future. It's like, what does it look like? Where are you? What are you doing? How does it feel? And what is the elevated emotion associated with that vision of yourself in the future? And it's just so epic what you find you're capable of with your imagination. I always see the same vision. I'm on the same stage at the same festival. Every time I do this meditation, I'm there and I'm just so ecstatic. And I guess I'm hoping to manifest that experience again. It's something that Tonight Alive has done before. It's something I want to do again. I just want to have that yummy feeling of I am exactly where I'm meant to be. And that is another one of the elevated emotions, is I'm in alignment. So I just think there's no more epic way to start your day than meditating and envisioning the future and envisioning your future self. Hi, Heidi. So that's the first thing I do, and I try to do that before I have a conversation, before I look at my phone. Anything that's going to start me downloading other information and processing stuff, because I kind of feel like my mind just turns and turns and turns. So yeah, I come in here and I meditate, then I make my celery juice. And the reason I'm doing celery juice is lately, there's a lot of reasons, but lately I've been feeling this craving to want to be high. I want to be so intensely present, and I want clarity, I want focus, I want to be able to connect, and I want to articulate myself, and I just want to be here, and I want to have so much to offer to myself, to my life, to the people in my life, to my mission, to my career. And I haven't been feeling that. I had quite an intense dip in my mental health a couple of weeks ago, and it's not an overly serious intense thing. It was just that it's okay, I have anxiety pretty much from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep. I'm getting kind of depressed and unmotivated, and I just kind of had to pick it up. It took a bit of work, and it takes reaching out for support, being really honest with others and with self, and I find journaling to be a really good tool for practicing honesty and transparency, and actually just connecting to the inside, which is often what we're ignoring and dismissing and suppressing, when, for me at least, when anxiety and depression are starting to well up. So basically I was when do I feel most radiant? When do I feel most alive, clear, present? I have a list every week in my journal. I write a list of what are my preferred feelings? What do I want to feel this week? Or who am I in my ultimate state? And one of the tools, or one of the resources that is involved with getting me to that place, is celery juice. It is, it might be, it's going to be different for everyone. It absolutely will be different for everyone. And maybe it's even the routine and the consistency of waking up and knowing that I will be doing this for myself. And the reason I'm doing this is because I love myself, is because I care about my body, is because I care about my mind, because I care about my productivity or my peace or my healing or my health or whatever it is. It's it's just an intentional way to reach your goals. probably, yeah, I don't know if that was articulated perfectly, but the celery juice just gets me high on life. And it also is really good for my skin because I've struggled with chronic eczema, and in the most intense times of my eczema being like basically out of control, also came with like head spins and like heart palpitations and just general like lethargy and apathy and like just not okayness. So I never really figured out what that all meant. I just know that I was dysregulated at the time, like nervous system and heart and like soul was just like not nourished to where it needed to be. And there was a lot just not being acknowledged and not being dealt with. So all that to say that like, yeah, I've discovered a lot of tools that keep me stable, and that's kind of where I aim to be. It's just like a nice, neutral, consistent level, not dipping up and down, but hey, it's gonna happen. You're just trying to like, you know, just trying to bring those waves a little bit shorter instead of like the deep and intense spikes, either way. So I'm sorry I've missed so many questions and comments while I've been on this rant. But the celery juice I bring into the studio back on track, and I journal. So at the moment, as you guys know, I was doing like a lot of prompts and affirmations. I shared in my in my story highlight. You can go and check that out if you haven't seen it. It's the journal highlight. And yeah, you know, we were doing things like I am, I choose, I believe, I trust. Let's have a look. If you don't mind, I'll share a little bit. I'll get back to questions really soon, I promise. Yeah, let's check this out. I am blissfully pursuing my path. I choose fullness and richness in my experiences. I believe I have what it takes to make my vision a reality. And then I sort of started adding, I'm here because. I'm here because I care about my mental health. I'm here because my quality of life is up to me. I'm here because I love myself. I'm here because anchors are important in my day and in my life. I'm here because I'm prepared to commit. So I really like using prompts to draw out like an inner truth or like some inner message. And you might not even have ever had that thought before, but it's like, it's there and it's just like, it's waiting to be called on. And you might see that as calling in intelligence from your higher self, or calling in support from your, you know, your belief system, your sort of higher power, whatever like resonates with you. So actually, just on that, I've edited my journaling this week to downloading from my higher self, and it's something I've never done before. But I just, after I do the meditation, I bring my celery juice in here. I just kind of like close my eyes and I'm like, what would my higher self want me to know today? Like, what advice would she give me? What direction do I need? Like, and you just put yourself in the receiving mode. You don't necessarily need to ask a question. You don't need to have some like process of connecting, but it's just like, I'm just going to like invite a moment of stillness, and I'm just going to create space for that to come through. So, I mean, I'm happy to share with you what some of those messages have been. You know, for instance, on Tuesday, listen to your body, take cues from the universe. You can trust that you are securely held by the divine. The next day was, be aware of your resistance. Your body is thanking you for the changes you are making. Let it move through you. Stay focused and break focus intentionally, not unconsciously. You are in the driver's seat. Pick the destination. I really, really appreciated yesterday's one. It said, push, girl. Let your heart lead you. It's the ego that fears. You will be embraced the more you lean in. So, that's just a little, yeah, that's hella personal. That's my morning routine. And that can literally just take 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, Shazza, let your essence speak. I love that so much. That was one of those things that just kind of came through. The ego is the biggest enemy. I love that. That kind of reminds me of the Rage Against the Machine, Know Your Enemy song, my favorite. Anyway, I'll just quickly, Henry, Proverbs. So I'll just quickly say my night routine. It's short. I just come to the journal. I write some of the thoughts that came up through the day. So anyway, I don't really need to tell you what I think about, but you get the picture. It's just kind of the reason I write my thoughts, just a couple, maybe one or two down from the day, is so that you're catching yourself, so that you'll hear something said in your head and you'll be like, I heard that, I noticed that, and do I approve of this message or not? So that's my way of being okay, either there's something that, for instance, is an irrational belief, or there's some kind of limiting idea in my head that needs, I need to call it out. Or it's an idea or something for the future. And essentially then at the end of the day, I'll write I'm grateful for, I love, I trust, I know. At the moment I'm saying, may I have the serenity to accept, blah, blah, blah. May I have the courage to change. And at the moment I'm trying to do, I will stop soon. I know I've been on a real thing right now. But I do Qigong at night. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. And I'm actually gonna I think I'll do a live stream specifically for Qigong, because it's if you haven't heard of it, which I hadn't before a particular practitioner introduced me to it, but it's kind of if you know what Tai Chi is, it's just breath and movement, and it's kind of energy work, and you're not manipulating, but you're kind of nourishing and moving and freeing up the meridians in the body, which are the energy pathways. And the reason I do that is because I can lie in bed for 2 hours and think before I fall asleep. And that is kind of the case at the moment, where I'm there's just too much going on, and I'm not extracting it enough. And I guess that's because there's not enough stimulation happening where you're leaving the house and you're going to work and you're seeing other people and other things are happening. It's we're really in a container at the moment, and I kind of feel my brain container is just full. So doing Qigong at night is how I pacify my churning mind. And I think that's really important. It's such a powerful tool to have. One of the things that people reference Qigong as is the art of effortless power. It does make you feel powerful. It makes you feel grounded. It makes you feel peaceful. It makes you feel really centered and whole and nourished. And I really, really value feeling that way. So really it just gets me out of my head. And there's even particular movements such as water waves. It's my favorite one. I won't stand up and do it for you now, but basically it's a process of creating this spiral around yourself where all you focus on is the air moving between your fingers. And what it does is draw mental energy down into the body. It just removes it from the head. There's just so much happening upstairs for so many of us. And another one of those exercises I think is you kind of take the hands overhead and you draw down the heavens, and then you just brush it through the center of the body, and it just sorts it all out, guys. So that for the question you asked me 10 minutes ago, Christy, that's my morning and my night routines. And, sometimes I still, sometimes it's still going to be a hard day. Sometimes anxiety is still going to arise. Sometimes I will just lie in bed for an hour thinking before I can even fall asleep. But at least we, we know what our resources are, and we call on them, and we have the courage to make that effort for ourselves to be in our best. At our best potential. I think I should be quiet for a few minutes now. Thanks for letting me share. It's so it's been so healing for me, and it's pronounced Qigong, but it's actually spelled Qigong, and I will share my favorite videos with you after this. Journaling has helped me become so much more organized. I would never have identified as an organized person prior to like doing daily journaling and you know, having a list of my tools, of knowing like what keeps me in check, what brings me back to myself. So thanks once again for holding space for me to share all that with you. It's like, it's really been so transformative, and I know how much has helped my mental health and my like sense of sometimes feeling really hopeless and helpless and like scared. I use a lot of oracle cards. Must Be Dreaming. That's a really cute username. If you can see on top of the piano over there, there's a whole thing. They're all my cards and I love them so much. And actually, I have a deck here, and like maybe we'll wait a little while and we'll get into some questions and stuff, but I was gifted this amazing deck by Alana Fairchild, which is just like blows my mind. She's my favorite. She's truly my favorite. All of my favorite decks are hers, and this is like the most epic deck. I've only used it a few times, but maybe a little later towards the end of the live stream, I'll draw a card if you guys are feeling that. Yay. Yeah. I do play the piano. I've just bought this from Marketplace Facebook. It was like $100, and my friends helped me move it in a van, and it is so heavy. But anyway, that's all besides the point. I don't know, it's been so useful for my songwriting. Like I've never sorry, I'm reading your comments while I'm talking. I had a piano in our family home growing up, but I never really learned to play it. So it's been epic. I've actually written more than 20 songs on this piano in like a matter of months. It's like so inspiring how it sounds compared to a guitar. It totally, it's changed the game for me. Whew. Cat Stratford, my idol. In the song The Greatest, I say that my day can't be done until I've sung. Do I set aside time to specifically express myself musically each day? Thanks, that's such a lovely question. No, I don't. I don't do that intentionally. But you know what? Being off tour is so nice to experience music in a different way, and also to experience my voice in a different way, because I'm not like belting Tonight Alive songs. It's a really different experience, and it's like super enjoyable and like a gentle, like loving therapeutic experience. And I know that music is therapeutic anyway, and you know, being on stage and singing Tonight Alive songs is true catharsis for me. But it's in a different way. It's in such a like, so many of our songs come from a place of like rage and distress and like frustration, and like they're kind of, for me, there's like an explosive like outpouring in that way. So I've never heard my voice in the way that I hear it now, being off the road for more than a year. It's so bizarre. You know, there was a stage where we went off the road for more than 2 months. 2 months was like long time to be home, and it was really displacing. And now this has become normal, and it's become my steady, stable thing, and that's everything to me, because I craved that so much. Anyway, I did get off track with what you were asking me. I don't sing every day, but I guess at the time it was probably more of a metaphor. And like, I think what I was trying to say was that in the song The Greatest, if anybody's kind of lost the train of thought that I was on, when I say, the day's not done until I sing, I think what it meant is kind of like when something significant happens and when like a really potent feeling comes up, like songwriting is my way of processing that and like honoring it and acknowledging it. And it's often, I would find it, what am I trying to say? If something significant happens in my life, it's pretty unusual that I won't write a song about it. All right, back to where you guys are. And just so you know, like, if anybody's been sending messages and questions, am I psychic? No. What I wish, basically, I have not seen what you guys have been sending, and I really want to be able to keep up with you, but like, it's probably just not possible, but I'm trying. Oh, Jazzy, you shared that quote from our live shows: "Unwounded, unconditioned, unafraid. I am." Thank you. I love that you guys resonate with with our lyrics and with the speeches at the shows. Thank you. Hannah, I love Celebrity Drag Race. I think it's fantastic. I think it's so playful and empowering, and it's really nice for people who aren't drag queens, or even, who are just allies to the LGBTQI community. I love that there's a place, for us in that picture, and that we can appreciate drag, and we can appreciate the queer community, and and for it to be acknowledged that it's empowering for everybody. It is an inclusive community. Every community has its flaws and its hang-ups and stuff like that, but Drag Race in general gives me a lot of joy, and it gives me that little fix of reality TV at the same time as just getting to witness like a creative process and people really being in their skin and in their element. I love that so much. That gives me chills. Yeah. Jasmine, throwback to when we demolished the dance-off here in Milwaukee at the rave. That's classic. That was such a random way to do meet and greets on a tour we did in 2016 with Set It Off. We were doing meet and greets where we would have like dance-off competitions. Like, that was my idea, by the way, obviously. But it was so much fun, and I can't believe that like 10 males were like all for that. I don't know how I got away with that. I know men can enjoy dancing too. It's like, it definitely out of the comfort zones of a couple of the guys in my band. So very, very fun. Very cool way to connect with fans before a show as well. Very playful. Kay, you said really stupid question, but am I playing Animal Crossing? No, I don't actually really know what it is. I just see people kind of put it on their story. Oh my god, Buttercup buffet. I love that. When I come back to the UK, you and Carly are going to put me in full drag. That'd be so much fun. I'd love to like experience what it's like wearing padding and gluing my eyebrows. Like, that'd be super fun. I want to do that to Dale. He's actually open to it. I put makeup on him for his birthday last year. When his birthday theme, we went to karaoke and we dressed as the year of 93 prom. So he and I wore matching boob tube like satin gowns, and he let me put makeup on him, and so when we watch Drag Race, I'm like, oh, can I do drag makeup on you, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. I think it would be fun. Jenna, you told me I'm persuasive. I don't know why you said that, but that's cool. I don't know, I guess. Hope you don't mind when I go quiet and I'm just reading your messages. I'm trying to take it all in and just answer what calls me to answer. Anna, you asked me what benefits I've seen from celery juice, and yeah, it's just mostly that, like, Yeah, well, my skin changes when I do celery juice. I did the full heavy metal detox for 30 minutes for 30 days, and I took a photo every day of my skin, and it really changed throughout. Like, I just, while you're detoxing, like, you're gonna get intense symptoms and things will get aggravated and stuff like that. So yeah, throughout it like fluctuated, but by the end it was just like my face looked totally different. And more so than that, it's really just the vibrancy that it gives me, the energy that I feel, and yeah, I'm getting distracted by the messages, hope you don't mind. But yeah, if you guys have heard of celery juice and the medical medium, or if you haven't, check it out. The stories of people recovering from like chronic diseases are amazing. I can't talk about straight edge because I'm not straight edge, but thanks for asking. I think lol, ache for wonder, no read, only talk, you're hilarious. Okay, I'm not going to read, I'll just talk. On being straight edge, I really appreciate like the discipline. I always, when I was a teenager, I was like, that's really cool. Like, I admired people who were straight edge because I was like, oh, that, it takes a certain degree of, self-discipline, and saying like, there's something that I don't need, I don't agree with, and I don't, I'm not going to engage with. And I really appreciated that. And then, it was sort of the same thing with veganism, that I was like, to see people renunciate something that they're used to, that's really super normalized, being animal products, something you grew up eating or doing, I always found it amazing that people could give something up for like a greater purpose. So I was actually always attracted to the idea of being straight edge and being vegan. I mean, it's a sort of similar thing with monks and like spiritual leaders and people in general. It's like, wow, like, yeah, you're taking an inconvenient path. You're taking not the path of least resistance. You're like putting a challenge out there for yourself where you're always going to be tempted. People are always going to challenge it. They're going to be like, oh, why can't you just this or that? And it really serves to get you in touch with what your values are, what you really, really strongly believe, and what you're willing to sacrifice and compromise in order to stick to your values. I love that. So that's all I can really say. That's all I can really say about being straight edge. Sarah, you said, can I talk you through a guided meditation on another live? I can try. I can definitely try, and I would love to do that. Thank you for asking. I haven't done that before, but I've guided yoga before, and yeah, it's not the same at all, but it could be really, really fun. Thank you for asking. I'm just catching up on some of the things you were saying. Oh my god. Someone said that you've been vegan for 7 years and thought you accidentally ate meat recently and it was traumatizing. Luckily it wasn't. I thought that you said you had accidentally, and like, oh man, I couldn't cope. On Warped in 2018, they had like Burger Day at catering, and yeah, there were Beyond Burgers or one of the type. And like, I was disturbed. I went back and I was like, are you absolutely sure this isn't meat? Because it looks the same, it tastes the same, it's freaking me out. And that's something that I actually, as a vegan, don't enjoy. I don't really like things that totally resemble meat. At the beginning of becoming veg and vegan, I just wasn't into mock meat at all. I didn't like the idea of sausages, and replacement stuff just freaked me out. But after a few years, it's kind of like, it's like it's nice to have a bit of variety. My favourite restaurant in Melbourne was called Loving Hut. It's now called Brother Bon, and they do very, very, very yummy food and mock meats. And it's just kind of like, now at this point, it's kind of just for variety, and it doesn't taste too similar enough that you would be uncomfortable about it, but just enough so that non-veg and non-vegans can come and be like, maybe I wouldn't be missing out. If you guys want to ask me any questions about veganism, I'll be happy to try and answer them the best I can. Yeah, Myra, if that's how I pronounce your name, you said, do I think that spirituality can go hand in hand with natural drugs like weed and shrooms? I think like a spiritual journey is totally individual and personalized, and it is for you what it is for you. It can't really be the same for other people, and natural like mind altering and conscious altering substances like that, if they connect you more to yourself and they connect you more to source, then I don't see them as like a negative thing. And I think all you need to do is have enough awareness for, if for some reason you're boycotting your life, you're bypassing, your spiritual bypassing, and if you're hurting yourself, you can tell when you're being self-destructive. You just have the courage. You have to have the courage to acknowledge it and say that I'm not doing this for the right reasons. I think those things are good. I don't really like using the term in moderation, but as needed, as called for. Thank you for just mentioning that I seem relaxed and happy. I appreciate that. I've definitely been prioritizing health and stability and connection to like what's important to me, and developing stronger boundaries and developing a better relationship with myself, and saying no when I need to say no, saying yes when it feels right to say yes. So the tricky thing about that is a lot of people won't understand. So you have to really be doing it for you and know that you're making an investment for your life. You, to a certain extent, can determine your quality of life, and that's become like a really big focus for me. Thank you. Yeah, Frothy Cider, that's a hilarious username. You said that everything on the internet basically says that you need to eat meat and dairy to get your tummy balanced. I just don't agree with that at all, and I'm not a practitioner and I'm not educated enough to say absolutes, and in a way nobody really has a right to say absolutes, but like I just absolutely don't agree. And I think there's so many other resources out there that will tell you otherwise, and it is a shit show, and it's a perfect way to describe it. I would say go and see a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, or an Ayurvedic doctor, or a vegan naturopath. A lot of, still people say to me, you need to have bone broth, or, a bit of red meat would go a long way. And it's just like, I'm just not talking to the right person in that situation. And whatever is needed in your diet, in your life, it can be supplemented. I don't think it's worth putting meat and dairy in your system at all. They're foreign. They don't belong. They don't belong in the human body. Hope you understand I can't answer every question, guys. Oh, Lil Wash. Do I ever think about posting on Freedom is Green again? That page was so helpful and clarifying for me. I appreciate that. I've actually been thinking about deleting that, that profile, because I just find it so funny that I was just so excited and passionate about, you know, originally going grain-free and getting into superfoods. This was like 2012 or 13, and then going veg and then going vegan. And it's just kind of like, it just makes me giggle, because it's just kind of like how little kids these days, they start like pages for their pet. It just reminds me of that. It was like something I was really excited about. But, you know, the more time that goes on and the more I learn, the more I understand that I don't know that much. So I don't think I'll ever be posting on that account again. I may delete it. This is a really good question, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer it, you know, and do it justice. Anna Prasad, you said, how do I deal with the harsh realities of the world? Like when I found out about the veal industry, you didn't know if you could look at the world the same. I guess that's the tricky thing about you know, educating yourself and exposing yourself and bearing witness to like those harsh realities, and staring in the face of what is unbearable and what is wrong and unjust, and I guess that is the result, is that you're never going to be able to look at the world the same. And I have heard that if you're, you know, as a vegan, like what's the point of not being an activist? And maybe Henry, you are an active activist. Maybe you'll be able to share some stuff here for everybody that's interested. I guess you have to act on the information. You have to do what you can, what's possible for you. Share when it's appropriate, as much as possible. I don't know how much more there is that you can do. At least that's where I stand, and I would love to change the world. I would love to affect everybody. I would love to share a message and in a way that everyone can connect with and everyone understands. I find that like a tricky department. I wish I could give you a better answer. But I guess just hold on to what you know to be true and what you value, what's important to you. Act on that. Share the best that you can, as much as you can. And to a certain extent, you kind of do just need to surrender and let go to the fact that not everybody's ready to accept the same truths that you are. Yeah, hope that was okay. Megan, the worst thing for the planet is eating meat. Thanks for what you said, Peter, about this being the longest that I've ever been home in my adult life, and you're happy for me. Thank you, that's just so kind. Catherine, I have done acupuncture quite a lot. The first time I got acupuncture, I was in London, and we'd just done this like press day, and sorry, I was just reading a comment that I couldn't tell if it was a joke or like super, super wrong and inappropriate, but we're just going to move on. I was in London, we'd just done a press day, we were at our label. Like, it was this really intense day. It was the last day before we flew out after a tour. This was like 2012. Actually, I think we were on tour with Young Guns, and I was like actually very, very sick throughout that tour. So like the anxiety was like intense. It might have been like one of my first experiences of like, you know, being on the verge of having like a panic attack, and just being like around so many people and not knowing like, how am I gonna like suppress this any longer? And my skin was out of control. Anyway, I just went into a random clinic, and I just got acupuncture, and I just was a changed person afterwards. Like, I left in a completely state of mind and state of being. I felt like I was walking on air. So yeah, I really distinctly remember that. I was just desperate. I was like, I'll do anything to feel better. And then I had an acupuncturist over the years, different doctors, and then I learned to do it on myself. So it's, it was not like a regulated situation, but like in 2016, before Warped, I'd kind of got like my health to this stable place where I was like, yeah, I can go overseas for like 3 months and I can manage. Anyway, my doctor was like, yeah, you're going to need to stay on top of your shit. And, one of the things he prescribed to me was like being barefoot on grass. He's like, you need to reconnect to, and he wasn't an overly like spiritual doctor. It was just like factual, scientific, when you're living indoors or on a bus, like you are disconnected from, I think he called it the Schumann's frequency, which is kind of like the frequency of Earth. And you need to regulate and realign your energy to a natural frequency by taking your shoes off and being barefoot on grass. That was literally what a Chinese medicine doctor prescribed to me. But he also taught me how to do acupuncture on myself. So I got a little handbook and bought a bunch of needles, and I practiced on myself like every second day or so. And for people that haven't done it before, I'll just share what some of my experiences. Like there are points for like cooling the blood. So if you're particularly inflamed and stressed out, or like you have like symptoms of inflammation, such as maybe it'll be sore joints for you, or like stomach problems. For me, it was like eczema everywhere. So cooling the blood was one of the approaches with the acupuncture. And doing points all over the body, it was so epic. And you just lie there for 30 minutes. I think 27 and a half minutes is the full length of a chi cycle in the body. So for it to leave this place and go here and here and here and all the way down and come back up again, it takes 27 minutes, I think. So I love acupuncture. I think it's totally transformative. It helped a lot with body pain. It helped a lot with, my chronic eczema. And there's always something else going on. When you have a symptom, it's like something is imbalanced in the body. And I think it's just so epic that there's like these Eastern ancient practices where you can check the pulse and you can determine so many different things from it. Or you can check the tongue. What direction is the line in the middle of the tongue pointing, and like how pronounced are the taste buds, and like what color is the film over the top of the tongue, and does the tongue like shiver and shake when you stick it out, or is it just flat? There's heaps of different things that your tongue will tell you. Like, is it red in the middle? I don't know what all of the, I can't connect all those dots, but I know that that's some of the things that those doctors will look for and kind of diagnose you based on. I just think it's so epic. It feels magical and intuitive, and it feels like a natural way to understand the body. I love that. Yeah, so thanks for asking that question about acupuncture. Sophie, that was a very cute comment about having to take your retainer out because you're smiling too much. It's amazing. Thanks to anybody that like stayed up super late to be here, and that I was just hoping to make this like a better time zone for everybody that couldn't make it the other night. So yeah. Hey Maria, you said that you've heard that piercings affect your aura. Yeah, I haven't heard it in those terms before, but I used to see a different Chinese medicine doctor down here in Melbourne who told me to take my nose ring out, and he was like, it's draining your energy. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. It's like my teenage dream that I'm not like willing to give up yet. But yeah, like if you know any more about that, please feel free to share, and I might look it up. But it does make sense, you know, like having a hole in the body and having metal in it. It's like it definitely would conduct and manipulate your electric field a little bit differently. Just a guess. All right. Mara, you said, what would I say to my younger self? I think about this a lot. And next week, my journaling practice, I'm changing it to like, what does my inner child want today? What does she need? What would I say to her? So like, it's a really timely question. I think, you know, what I would say to her is stuff that I still struggle with today about confidence and self-esteem and like really owning what's true to me. And not harboring guilt for like having a different opinion or a different approach to other people. I guess I've had a lot of those experiences at a young age and like continually throughout my life where I felt like not approved of, and it created this like restriction for me to feel like I could do what was true to me and really, really own my boundaries. I wasn't, you know, so many of us, if any, like are taught about boundaries. Like, I just feel really sad, even for my like 20-something-year-old self, like 21-year-old self, let's say. When I think back to meetings that I was in, you know, and I've shared this with you guys before, you know, meetings that I was in at our label where people were telling me that they didn't approve of the way that I looked or my hair or you know, the way I was dressing. It was like so crushing. And, you know, now I feel like if I was in that situation, I would probably laugh at those people and say, you're kidding, right? Do you know how wildly inappropriate it is to think that you can have a say about the way someone looks? Do you understand how like limiting and like destructive that is for my growing like adult woman self? Like, do you realize how damaging this conversation could potentially be if I let this continue? Like, I'm just gonna say like, let's stop here. I don't know, that might be what I say, what I'd say. But I guess it's all to do with like owning your truth more. Owning your boundaries more, knowing what your boundaries are, knowing like where's the line. Sorry, I'm feeling like embarrassed, like my hair's kind of silly. Knowing where the strong line is for you, like this is what I refuse like to allow, or this is what I invite, and this is what I limit, and this is where I say like, do you know what, I've had enough now and I'm gonna walk away. I don't know, I just kind of feel for her, you know, my younger self that didn't know how to do that. And it's really only something that I have been practicing in the last couple of years. And it like really, you know, for the people that are close to me, a lot of people were just like, whoa, what the fuck? Like it was a whole new dynamic in the relationships, and people were really acknowledging that like, whoa, like, you know, I'm not getting what I want from you anymore, or et cetera, et cetera. I'm actually just going to, because this is such like a potent topic, I'm just going to like super duper scroll all the way to like where you guys are up to now, because I'm like stuck on acupuncture back in the old comments, and I just want to know what you guys think. Oh, Jazz, thanks for the 5-minute warning. Yeah, I just want to know what you guys think about, yeah, what you would say to your younger self, and like, do you resonate with what I'm saying about Jamie, it's so nice to see you. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, that's something I'm still healing. Like when I look back and I see her in those moments of like helplessness where, you know, these people that you put in a position of not necessarily authority, but like in a position where you like really, you appreciate their point of view, and when they are like subtly manipulating you to get what they want out of the situation, or if they don't understand like where the lines are, yeah, I just remember myself really like floundering in those moments and not knowing like, is this okay with me or not? And like, it must be okay because I really respect this person and they respect me, and they might be, you know, they might be my best friend, or they might be like a really close colleague or something like that. And it's really confusing. So anyway, Abby, standing up for myself is a constant struggle for me and something I really want to work on. I feel you. I really feel that. And standing up for yourself is something that takes a lot of practice. Thanks for sharing that. Hi, Kelly. Good morning to you too. Thanks for coming. So I guess like we only have a couple of minutes left on this one. I'm gonna start another live. There's no way that we're ending here. It's been so nice. Maggie, you would definitely tell her to not take others' judgment so seriously. Tell yourself that the only validation you need is your own. Focusing on self-awareness and growth has done wonders. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's really nice to hear that. Thank you. Oh, wow. M. Hoarder 33. I would tell myself that rejection isn't a projection of what is wrong with you. That's so incredible. Very, very powerful words. A drive past reality. Cool name. I would tell her not to settle for less than I deserve. I'm still fighting that. I've always met such toxic individuals manipulate you, and I just feel you're just now really stepping away from those people. It's amazing. Yeah, I think identifying what is and what isn't welcome in your life is like really important as well. That's like kind of the first step. It's like, how does this feel for me? And my feelings are valid, and like really checking in with yourself and being like, how do I feel in this moment? Am I safe? Do I feel safe? Do I feel protected? Do I feel respected in this moment? Like, do I feel considered? And if those things aren't present, then like really learning how to express that there's a boundary that's being crossed, and, you know, express that actually what I would really prefer in this situation is this. So, you know, if that dialogue is not available to you, or it's not like conducive with that particular person, then it's kind of like sometimes you really do just need to cut a cord and step away. Olio, you said that why Starlight isn't on Spotify. I didn't know that. I don't understand why it's not on Spotify. I'll have a look and see if that's just something that's happening for you or in your part of the world. Simi Supra, I want to get my skin under control the way that you did. Any advice? Having a really good practitioner is going to be super, super helpful. And, you know, going to a GP and a dermatologist isn't always going to be the route that, you know, changes the game for you. It wasn't for me for many, many years. And I also, you know, was given some pretty misguided, like, advice in, you know, in those sessions. Like, really, like, that wasn't okay. And also being told that there actually isn't a cure for this and it probably isn't ever going to get better. You're just going to have to learn how to manage it. It's kind of fucked up. Like, that's so not encouraging, like, hope and progress. And I'm just so not about that. I'm like, there is an answer for everything. There is a remedy for everything. And there's a reason for everything. And I hated the fact that someone said to me, no one knows where eczema comes from. Like, can you imagine? It's just horrendous. All right, we've got a 2-minute warning. So I would look at diet, but you also really need guidance. You need someone to tell you, like, this is what's up, this is what your body needs, what it doesn't want, like, here's the hard lines, here's the hard truths, and you're going to have to make some changes. And for me, it was like cutting out grains, cutting out like acidic foods, you know, ditching as much sugar as possible, ditching alcohol, all like anything, you know, white and processed breads and cereals and stuff like that. It was just like, it just all has to go. And that was like a huge step in the right direction. And then it was like about alkalizing the body, eating heaps of green stuff and drinking enough water, getting enough of all the supplements and minerals and vitamins that I needed. And then it was like, okay, what else is going on here? Like, and the nervous system, like, massively needed nourishment. I needed to be getting therapy. I just needed like healthier circumstances in my life altogether, because the stress, you know, people would always be like, eczema comes from stress, or acne comes from stress, or whatever else. It's like, yeah, so what are we going to do with that stress? How are we going to manage it? I hope that's a very much like a broad description of getting your skin under control. But as a lot of people mentioned on this thread, the digestive health is like crucial. It's the stomach is the second brain, they say. So if it's full of crap, if it's like struggling, if it's inflamed, there's like no chance for the brain and the rest of the body to be like thriving. So I would look into Ayurvedic or traditional Chinese medicine practitioners to just get a different perspective on it all. All right, so 5 seconds left. I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to come back and I'll see you in a second.